Welcome to the second series of the Little Bean podcast, where every episode feels like a warm hug, reminding us that we are not alone in this roller coaster of parenthood. I'm your host, Sarah Baldock, a mum to 3 amazing boys, as well as a newborn and family photographer. I've been so lucky to join hundreds of families on their parenthood journey and capture their most precious memories. Along the way, we've laughed through so many different topics around parenthood, and I thought it would be good to bring them to life in my podcast. The aim of the Little Bean podcast is to show mums and dads that you are not alone. I can pretty much guarantee everything you are feeling at various points in your journey, we've all been there. So together, let's navigate the highs and lows of being a mum and dad. From the first moment you find out you're pregnant, right up to when your babies are taller than you and embarking on their own journeys. Let's cozy up and share stories about all sorts of topics, from little one's first cuddly to the evolving themes of a family board game, from the first books that they won't let you stop reading, to the once beloved TV shows that used to be on permanent repeat and are now a thing of the past. Yeah, Peppa Pig. Every little change marks another page turned in our family story. Yet with each soft goodbye, there's an exciting new hello. We're here to share these moments and to show you that you are not alone. It can sometimes feel like you are the only one riding these waves of emotions, but trust me, you're not. You're doing a fantastic job. Through the laughter and the tears, it's your love that makes this journey so incredibly special. Let's cherish each moment together. So today's episode is all about sleep, or more accurately, the lack of it. From being heavily pregnant to navigating night feeds, we've all got our stories, and boy, do they make for some amusing and heartfelt chats. So grab your cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate, snuggle up, and let's dive into the delightful chaos of sleep. The joys of trying to sleep when you're pregnant. For me, I didn't really blossom with any of my 3 pregnancies, and I felt like the size of a small planet. I remember too well building a pillow fortress to try and get comfy. That trusty pillow between the legs and the endless tossing and turning because you can't sleep on your back or your right side. Why is it that as soon as you can't do something, that's all you really want to do? And let's not forget the middle of the night toilet trips. It's like trying to roll out of a beanbag or a hammock. It's not graceful. We've all done the penguin waddle to the toilet at 3 a.m. as well. And the struggle to get back up, well, that's an Olympic sport in itself. So I'm sure the struggles to sleep when we're heavily pregnant just prepare us for the sleep deprivation when our little ones arrive. Those night feeds can definitely be classed as the bane of a new parent's existence. We've all laid there, perfectly still, hearing baby stir, hoping against all hope that maybe they'll drift back off to sleep. Maybe they don't really need feeding after all, we think. But who are we kidding? Of course they do. We just want those precious extra 10 minutes of sleep. Sleep deprivation does have its lighter side though, although at the time you might struggle to see it. I remember when I was convinced I heard my eldest son as a newborn say night night as I put him down in his Moses basket. I'd like to think he was highly advanced and talking at 5 days old, but I suspect it was the lack of sleep rather than his sheer genius that caused it. And then, of course, haven't we all put the dirty washing in the fridge instead of the washing machine? I'm not the only one that's done that, am I? Am I? Oh dear. So we often end up so tired we could fall asleep standing up. And I wish we had the same mechanism as birds. They grip the branch even tighter as they fall asleep. Now, wouldn't that be handy if we could fall asleep standing up and grip baby even tighter so we know that they're safe? Now, let's talk about those nights where Dad sleeps like a log. So one morning when my eldest son was a couple of weeks old, my husband was brave enough, or I think, to be honest, he might actually say in hindsight, stupid enough, to say, well, that was a good night last night, wasn't it? I could have punched him at that moment, as he had completely missed that I was up every hour from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m, as he was blissfully unaware and fast asleep. Definitely grounds for divorce. I'll give him his due, though. He always rephrased the sentence after that to, how was your night last night? Marginally better, I guess. Mind you, we moan about lack of sleep, but at the other end of the scale, there's that first time that little one sleeps through the night. Yay! Oh, you wake up in a total panic. Is something wrong? Why didn't they wake up? Where have they gone? And then the realisation hits. You've had a full night's sleep. Yay! Great, you think? Oh, not so much. I always felt like I had a hangover, as my body had become so used to the lack of sleep that sleep nearly killed it. And if you're breastfeeding, oh, the pain of baby not feeding all night. It's like your body saying, hey, what's happened to the night shift? Then comes the emotional whirlwind of moving baby into their own room. The first night is the hardest. You find yourself tiptoeing into their room, peeking in to make sure they're still breathing. And then there's the baby monitor checks. It's like we're spies on a secret mission, making sure every little beep and every breath is in order and it's all okay. It's heart-wrenching as your little one is growing up, but also liberating at the same time. It's only when you've shared a room with a newborn baby do you realise how much noise they make, even when they're asleep. Then there's the panic of getting the temperature right in their nursery. Too hot, too cold. It's like we're trying to find the Goldilocks zone. I know I used to use a grow egg, which was great as it was red, amber or green, so you know instantly whether the temperature was right or not. Cue me going in every half an hour to check the egg colour. As soon as I could, I used grow bags for the boys. They were great, although I had about 15 different togs for every microclimate. There was something really comforting about zipping them nice and cosily into their grow bag every night, all toasty and ready for bed. You still had the panic of whether the temperature was right, though. As I mentioned above, baby monitors are a double-edged sword. They're great for peace of mind, but also a source for constant checking and panic. Then there's the more amusing side. Ever eavesdropped on your other half's chats with the baby? It's hilarious. You hear them negotiating sleep like they're in a peace summit. Then, just when you think you've cracked the code and found a routine, bam, it changes again. Babies love to keep us on our toes. One week they sleep like angels, the next they're up every hour. It's a never-ending guessing game, and one we wouldn't change for the world. Would we? So, of course, there is always the age-old question of, do you keep the house quiet when baby's trying to get to sleep or not? I always made sure the boys could sleep through noise. With dogs and older siblings, quiet was a very rare commodity. We do also need to remember, though, that babies are used to the noise of the womb. So a bit of background noise can actually be quite comforting for them. And hands up, who's gone for a midnight drive or a walk in the pitch black to get baby to sleep? There we are, in our PJs, big coat thrown over the top, looking like we've lost the plot. But it often seemed to work, so who cares? And I did draw the line at going out in my slippers. Oh, and could someone please explain to me this phenomenon? Why is it that friends or relatives can always get your little one to sleep in 5 minutes when you've been struggling for hours? I guess it's sod's law, right? It's like they have a magic touch, or it's like our little one knows how to push every button, even from that age. Then there is the dreaded time when we drop daytime naps. Daytime naps are a lifesaver, and you don't truly appreciate them until they start dropping them. You only realise how crucial those naps were when they're gone. Suddenly, the days seem much longer, and the peaceful moments are fewer and farther between. Mind you, there are also the times when they fall asleep in the afternoon when they're not supposed to. It's that fateful moment when you know straight away that bedtime has just got a whole lot harder, as late afternoon naps mean they're just not tired at bedtime. So I know I mentioned it before, and I do hate using the R word, but I will anyway. Routine! I did used to love our bedtime routine. Bath, story, milk and bed. It was a wonderful ritual and one the boys quickly got used to. Mind you, as the boys got older, they'd just say, just one more story. Then it would be, I need a drink, I need the toilet, I'm too hot, I'm too cold. And it got longer and longer. Trust me though, when they no longer need you to read them a book at night, you'll miss it. Enjoy every drawn out, long bedtime as long as it lasts, because it won't last long. With the emotional roller coaster of sleep comes the equally emotional realisation your baby isn't a tiny newborn anymore, as they transition from the next to you cot to their own room, and then from a cot to a baby bed, and finally a big bed. It's the reality that your little ones are growing up. Yes, you can get more well-deserved sleep, but your little ones are not so little. And let's face it, we're never ready for that. The excitement is huge for them as they get older, but for us parents, it's a teary milestone, certainly for us mums. Linked to that is also the transition from baby nursery to proper room themes. It broke my heart when my boys no longer wanted farm animals or Humphrey's Corner or Peter Rabbit. It's like they're growing up too fast. I still have lots of bits from their first nurseries. The boys just think I'm mad. So these are just some of my sleep experiences with my boys. The highs, the lows, the emotions, and the hilarious moments of sleep, or lack of it, during pregnancy and early parenthood. It's a wild ride, but one filled with love, laughter and memories, and they will last a lifetime. Oh, and do listen to the episode in the first series of the Little Bean podcast, entitled Sweet Dreams and Slumber Secrets, a chat with the Sunrise Sleep Coach, where I talked to the amazing Nadia. Nadia is definitely a baby whisperer, and she gave us some fabulous insights into newborn sleep patterns and how we can help with their sleep. So it's great if you're in the middle of going through sleepless nights. So that brings us to the end of another heartwarming episode here at the Little Bean podcast. It's always a joy to share this journey with you, watching our little ones grow up to their big, bold selves. I love hearing about how you navigate the joys and challenges of watching your little ones grow. Your stories, your tips, and your tricks. So please, feel free to post your experiences, and don't forget to share this podcast with other mums and dads who are riding the same emotional roller coaster. It's a beautiful reminder that they're not alone. Together, we've got this. Together, we can embrace the challenges and cherish the moments of parenthood with fun and laughter. So remember, keep cherishing those precious moments, and above all, remember you're doing an incredible job.